Hello everyone! I finally managed to get a Deckman's wand. I have been trying to record this video for a while. Many of you have been asking me, oh, if I cannot buy the Tevent wand, what can I do, And I have been answering for a while that if you cannot afford or have a Tevent wand, this class is kind of unplayable. The Tevent wand was a must to play the class and do damage, right? Otherwise you would just do a decent chunk of damage most of the time, or become just like a flank sleeper, which is not that fun and not that good, right? So Tevent wand was like a must on the class. And I tried to find alternatives on tier 1 and on tier 2 as well, but I couldn't find anything until I figured out Deckman's one existed. A lot of people told me this one is terrible, and it looks really bad at the start. While it has great status, the passive is Ray of Disaster, which is a terrible skill. It's terrible, but there's a big detail here, which is the Corrupt Magic Circle effect on the target that you apply with the Ray of Disaster, that a lot of people didn't notice and a lot of people skipped over. So I'm gonna explain a little bit more why this is a big and very important thing, but right now what you need to know is Deckman's is as viable as Tevent's one damage-wise. There's a lot to discuss about which one is better, if Deckman's is better or Tevent's is better. Each of them have like their different strengths and the reasons behind it. I can make a video about it later, or like I probably will make a video talking about both of them and their pros and cons of each. But what you need to know right now is Deckman's is viable. So if you don't have money for a Tevent's one, get Deckman's while it's cheap / affordable, because it's definitely playable. The one for Darkblight. It is, trust me. So I bought it today and I already recorded some clips of it. I'm gonna probably be playing them while I speak, okay? So you can see that it's very playable. But I wanted to talk about this build because I think it's a very affordable build and it's very cheap to build right now if you want to have fun with a glass cannon build. A lot of you know I have been playing with Tevents and Peerless, right? Recently I swapped for the Luzloa, which is a bit more expensive, but with this set using the same gear you can get everything for so cheap right now. Peerless you can get for cheap, you can get on the solo dungeons, and soon enough you're gonna be able to use Berkans here, which is basically the same thing but just better, so you can get that. The rest of the gear is basically also very cheap. It's all like close dungeon, close the dungeon, close the dungeon, close the dungeon, open dungeon, close the dungeon. This one is field boss, so it's a bit more expensive but should still be okay. And then there's the Shadow Harvest, right, which is just tier 1, and the Chosen, which I think it's open dungeon drops, but I know they are pretty affordable right now as well. So you can make this budget set right now with a decent like cost to play a very high a very high DPS build for glass cannon, I would say. I mean, it's what I have been playing right now. All the other clips that I have seen from my channel have been using this build and only this build, so it's at least playable, right? But let's see. The main reason why the Tevent's one, the Deckman one, is as viable as the Tevent is because this is with the Tevent's one, right? The combo is just you pre-buff yourself, right? Triple buff yourself. Then you just go like decay, touch, spread, explode, right? Boom. You're gonna get 90k, 100k, something like that, right? The reason why the Deckman's one is just as viable is because the decay touch is the Corrupt Magic Circle, right? It is just the Corrupt Magic Circle with a specialization point. But the thing is, the Corrupt Magic Circle has a type of dot damage, it's 65%, right? The Decaying Touch is 85%. What does that mean? That means that the dots that you are applying here are different. They are not the same dot. So what does that mean? That means you can do Decaying Touch, right? And you can do Ray of Disaster, which applies for a Magic Circle. What does that mean? You can apply both dots on the same target, which is huge. In case you don't get it, you are doing basically the same damage as Tevent on the calculation wise. It's very close and very similar, but believe me on this, the damage is almost the same, if not a little bit better. I think the Tevent's a little bit better. One friend did a calculation for me, but what I mean is it's very viable to play this damage wise. So what you're gonna do is just basically you're gonna buff yourself, right? Normally. Then you got Decay, Touch, Ray of Disaster, Spread. Well, boom, 90Ks. You saw like 95, 90, 85Ks. So the damage is so similar to the Tevent. So I hope this information helps. I wanted to share this build because I think it's affordable, and I wanted to share this big information about the Deckman one because I think that makes, like, it's a huge difference. Now the class is playable without the need of a Tevent one. That's huge, okay? That's like huge. So I set some quest logs with the build. As you can see, I only have 15k HP, and that's because I use a lot of runes for max mana, because I want to use my Dragon Ascended passive, which uses mana, right? The Dragon Ascent uses cost mana but does more damage the more mana you have. And I also want to use the Warrior's Gambit, which is the one passive here that I get every 1000 mana I get 0.75 base damage. So I just went full glass cannon here, right? That's the reason for it. But if you want to go with HP runes and HP sets, I also set a Questlog tab with it. You're gonna end up with like 23,000 HP, which is a lot more playable, let's say like that. So just be aware of that the 15k HP is just optional if you're crazy and want to do bigger damage numbers. But you can also just put HP like a normal person. But that's about it, I think. Yeah, Deckman's is really good, it's very viable, and that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, I'm almost reaching 1k. See ya. Actually, one extra note, guys, I'm sorry. I put on the quest log another final build that you can do to keep going with. If you like the glass cannon style, of course, you can follow up on that build, and it should be just upgrades everywhere. It should be better everywhere. So if you want to just keep playing glass cannon, I put that build as a suggestion, right? You can check it out and see what you think. The build doesn't have any Nebula gear pieces. I think you can do a much better build if you use Nebula gear pieces, but I didn't want to include those as it's full RNG or Omega expensive, right? But I myself am not gonna do that build. I'm not going for the glass cannon anymore, or the crit build. The reason for that is because I think not only I have been targeted a lot because people know I'm glass cannon, so they know they can just like, I have 15k HP, I just die in like anything, right? So it has been pretty unplayable to be targeted that much with fielded people and everything. And also I think endurance, it's too easy to get higher endurance in this game. So playing against tanks and healers is basically always chasing crit. You gotta invest everything in crit. For example, I have 15k HP, and even investing a lot into crit, giving up hit and everything, I still struggle to get enough crit to go over their endurance to do decent damage with the crit damage on the dot. So I myself am dropping the glass cannon build. And the reason for that is not only just what I said, but also the nerfs on the Curse Explosion. As I said before, the 1 second delay is huge in my opinion, and like the people managing to block that and deny me basically my whole kit is just too frustrating. So that's the reason I'm moving to Evasion, to have longer, more survivability, be able to play in the fights for longer, and to be able to do more in the long term, right? Instead of the sneaky insta burst, play in the long term with like more dot damage with 2-3 stacks of touch, right? So yeah, just basically changing my playstyle. I just wanted to put that here to make it very clear. This build, while I think it's great, and I think Deckman's works with any build, be it evasion or damage, okay? I just want that clear. Deckman is amazing. I want to be very honest and say that I don't think Glass Cannon right now is the way. I think the only way you can make Glass Cannon really viable is if you got a party to set you up, or like a party that really can protect you, or if you can make like a really good build with Nebula accessories, which is basically it's too much RNG to get it, you know? It's like too hard to get something like it. Yeah, this kind of basically what I'm trying to say is I think this build, while it's decent, it's good and it's fun, I like it a lot, and I have been playing it a lot, and I think you can get some great highlight moments. It's also very frustrating and very hard, and once you get like not famous, but also your name is out there, it's really hard to play this build. I think this build is also gonna struggle a lot in competitive scenarios, principally if you use the AoE version, right, which I use a lot because of the endurance, like I said. But if you're using this build on like random stuff, let's say Dominion or Dominion bosses, or even like low tier, sorry if that's a bit offensive, but like low tier to mid tier guild fights or Zerg fights, it should do well. But just be aware that this on the highest level possible, or like the toughest competition, like top 3, top 2, top 1 guilds, right, on your server, inter-servers, you probably will struggle with it. But that's basically it. I'm sorry for stalling too much, I just want to make this very clear, because I don't want people to build that and then like feel that it's not as good. I'm just putting it out that it's a cheap, affordable build that you can have a lot of fun. You can do a lot of damage, you can do a lot of great bombs, but there's a lot of cons into it, okay? So be aware that even myself am changing to Evasion right now, because it's really hard to play this without getting bullied. That's about it. Thank you for watching.